Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way today for a very different video compared to usual on the channel. I thought I'd mix up the content a little bit, and we are going to be doing a tier list ranking the Premier League managers, in my opinion, from best to worst. And obviously Claudio Ranieri will not be worst, do not worry about that, but we'll get straight into the video today. I hope you are all doing well. Let me know your thoughts on the tier list in the live chat and in the comments below if you are watching after the stream. We'll get up the tier list website now. I got inspiration for this video from James Lawrence Alcott, so please check out his channel. Great guy, got the same name as me, which is always great. So go check out his channel, James Lawrence Alcott on YouTube, and he did a similar video to this today. Right, where shall we start then? So obviously, as you can see, you've got number one, then we've got 2 to 5. So number one obviously is the best manager in the Premier League, in my opinion. Then we've got 2 to 5, which is kind of like that top 4 Europa League area. Into do you know what I mean? So that's kind of like they're really good, but they're not quite the best. Then you got 6 to 10, which is, you know, the upper mid table. They're good managers, but have they done it in the Premier League quite yet? That's probably the area for them. Then 11th to 15th, you know, you're getting close to the relegation zone there. And then 16 to 20th is obviously, in my opinion, you know, the worst managers in the Premier League. So it's going to be an interesting video to do. I'll start off with the worst, and then I'll work my way up top of things. You can see all the managers here. 2 things to note. Obviously, Xisco did manage us this season, but we've gone with Claudio Ranieri because he is the current manager. And for Newcastle, I know they sacked Steve Bruce last week, but I don't know anything about their current interim manager, Graham Jones. I know nothing about him, his management style or anything like that. So Steve Bruce is in there just because he was obviously at Newcastle for quite a long time. So we'll start off with who I think is the worst, and I'll just throw a few names in there. I'm obviously going to change this before the end of the video, but in terms of worst, I've got to throw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in there. I've got to throw Nuno in there. I've got to obviously throw Daniel Farke in there. Who else could potentially be in that area? I'm looking at, you know, Steve Bruce obviously has to go in there. And apart from that, you know, the remaining managers we've got there are not too bad. You know, Patrick Vieira, for me, you know, could be in that area depending on what happens at Palace, but he's made a good start this season. There's an argument to actually potentially put Arteta in there, because he did do quite badly at Arsenal, but in recent times he has turned that around. Right, very interesting. I'll carry on up the table, and we can kind of rejig everyone round towards the end of the video. So Sean Dyche, I reckon, is, you know, in this area or potentially up here. We'll leave him there for now. Marco Bielsa, for me, I know his teams play a good style of football, but I don't think I've seen enough from Marco Bielsa to convince me that he is one of the best managers in the league. Now, you know, you guys could completely disagree with me, and please let me know if you do, but I might put him, you know, in this area next to Sean Dyche. So we'll leave him there for now. I can obviously change that. Mikel Arteta, I'll probably put here as well. But to be honest, with Mikel Arteta, I do think he has a lot of promise, a lot of potential. Still very young as well. In terms of a manager, you know, you don't very often get, you know, as young as managers as Mikel Arteta. So he's definitely got a lot of promise left. Dean Smith. Now, obviously, he did really well with Villa. Nearly got relegated, though, remember, the season that we were in the league with them, and obviously we got relegated instead. He could be in the 6 to 10 or the 11 to 15. I'll stick him in the 11 to 15 for now. But again, that is subject to change. Please do not hate on me. David Moyes, actually, I can categorically say, you know, what a fantastic job David Moyes has done at West Ham. You know, getting them into Europa League football is such a fantastic achievement. And you know, they're playing fantastically well this season. Antonio's firing on all cylinders. Ben Rama's superb. And yeah, they've got some class players at West Ham. Declan Rice as well. You know, they've got a great team, and you know, they're up there this season. I think they're in a Champions League places now, actually. So they're doing really, really well. And for me, you know, I'm putting David Moyes in the 2 to 5 category. So David Moyes is in there for me. Let's go for Vieira, because again, it's a difficult one. A bit like Arteta, you know, their first job. Well, it's not Vieira's first job in management, but again, he is like Arteta in the sense that he is young, he's inexperienced in the managerial game. He's not actually won anything yet, has he? But what I've seen of Palace so far, I'm liking. So I'll put him in the upper end of the 11 to 15 for now. Claudio Ranieri. I was going to leave him until last, but we might as well talk about him now. Ranieri, obviously, let's go back to me for a second here. Ranieri obviously won the Premier League with Leicester City. And, you know, that for me, surely, you know, that should send him quite a way up the list already. Because that's, you know, that is, you know, the biggest, you know, it must be the biggest achievement ever in English football. So, you know, especially for a team like Leicester, who, you know, what were they, 5,000 to 1 favourites to win it? You know, Ranieri has to be up there. Is he the 2nd to 5th best manager in the Premier League? I'm not so sure. So I'm going to put Ranieri in the 6 to 10 category. However, again, I may change this come the end of the video. Next one along is Ralph Hassenhutle at Southampton. Now, whenever I think of Ralph Hassenhutle, I always think of them the 9-0 defeats. I think United beat them 9-0. Leicester obviously beat them 9-0. I mean, he's not got relegated with them. I think he plays good football. He definitely plays better football than a Steve Bruce or a Nuno. Where should Ralph Hassenhutle go? I'm going to put him. I don't think he's a 6 to 10 manager. I don't think he's in this 6 to 10 area. I'm going to put him in the 11 to 15. But that does mean someone has to drop out from this category. So I'll put him in here for now. I think he's good, and I think like Arteta, he does have a lot of promise. I just don't think he's up there at the moment with the very best, which is fair enough. What does Rudy say? He has a lot of experience, and I think that is vital as a manager. I would say Claudio Ranieri is probably the 2nd to 1st category. Blimey, Rudy is going out there with that. On to Bruno Lage at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Again, you know, it is a difficult one because I've not seen a lot of him. I definitely think that in terms of the way he plays football, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely more positive than Ole. It's definitely more positive than Nuno. Steve Bruce, you know, absolutely rubbish. So Bruno Lage, I'm going to put in 11 to 15, and we're getting quite a lot of managers who are suddenly in this category, so we will have to move a few of them out. But I do think that is his level. Graham Potter for me is maybe a 2 to 5, but it's definitely in the 6 to 10 category. So no qualms about that. Daniel says, "Come on, Ranieri first." So you'd want me to put Ranieri first over Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, or Pep Guardiola? I think that is absolutely crazy. Thomas Frank at Brentford. Now, Brentford getting promoted for the first time in their history this season. They play good football. They're arguably having a better season than Watford. You know, I think the football they play is fantastic. Thomas Frank, for me, is probably in this 6 to 10 category. He's probably in there. Is he better than Graham Potter? I don't think so. I think I'd prefer to have Graham Potter than Thomas Frank. I'm going to put Thomas Frank there, and I might come back to him later, as I've said with every one of these selections. Let's go Brendon Rodgers, who I'm actually going to put straight in this 2 to 5 category. I think Brendon Rodgers, he obviously formerly managed Watford, but I think Brendon Rodgers is a fantastic manager. Look, he's absolutely superb. He won the FA Cup with Leicester last season, against the odds really. And, they've built a fantastic squad at Leicester City. And actually, he's got them back to where they need to be. So for me, Brendon Rodgers, former Watford manager, of course, as well. He's got to be up there next to David Moyes. And we're getting into the big boy managers now, really. So we've got Thomas Tuchel, Rafa Benitez, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. Let's go Rafa Benitez first. Rafa Benitez is a superb manager. I think we saw that at Newcastle. We're seeing that now at Everton. I know we beat them 5-2, but before that, they were playing good football. Obviously, formerly of Liverpool as well. He did really well with them. So I think with Rafa, he's never really got to the highest heights of the game. I don't think he's really ever won the biggest of competitions. He's not done it. I think for me, he's not done it as consistently as some of these other top managers. And don't get me wrong, he is still a top manager. I'm sure most big teams, most top clubs would take Rafa Benitez. Is he? I'll put him in 2 to 5, but I think someone from there will have to drop out. And we're getting into the controversial area now. So Thomas Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. I'm going to put my first guy in. I'll just get that over and done with, and I'm not changing my decision on that. It's between Klopp and Guardiola. Is it Klopp? Is it Guardiola? It's going to be Jurgen Klopp. And for me, Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, he was essentially brought in to win the Champions League, and they've spent a lot of money, £100 million on Jack Grealish, and they've yet to win the Champions League under Guardiola. Whereas Jurgen Klopp, I know, in cup competitions, he doesn't really take it too seriously, but thinking about which manager I'd rather play under and be managed by, I think Jurgen Klopp. I mean, they're both superb. Don't get me wrong. I think Jurgen Klopp, he has that aura about him. If he suddenly turned up at my front door right now, I'd say, you know what, mate, I respect you so much. And I think that is a big thing for me. When even us getting battered, 5-0 by them the other week, you can tell that he has a passion for the game. Daniel says Klopp is average. I've got to disagree. I think Klopp is superb, and I could pick Guardiola or Klopp. It doesn't really matter who you pick because they are both top class. Guardiola's obviously won more Premier Leagues than Jurgen Klopp, but Klopp has won the Champions League with Liverpool. He's done it on a relatively lower budget than City in terms of net spend. So I think for me, Jurgen Klopp is got to be number one, which leaves Guardiola and Thomas Tuchel. This is interesting. So I think Guardiola we can obviously put as the second best manager in the country. Thomas will put as the third best. Fit him in there. So now it's time to rearrange this tier list and really narrow down which categories these managers should be in. So Jurgen Klopp first, Guardiola second, yes. Thomas third, yes. I'll go Brendon Rodgers fourth, Rafa Benitez fifth. And then we'll move David Moyes down to this category here. I think I know what I'm doing here. So we've got Jurgen Klopp, Guardiola, Tuchel, Rodgers, Benitez. Here's our fifth. David Moyes sixth. I think Potter has to be above Ranieri. Should Potter be above Ranieri? I mean, Ranieri's won the Premier League. But in terms of actual football and how their teams play, I think Potter plays the better football. I mean, Potter does play the better football. I think Potter's got to go above Ranieri. I'm sorry to rain on everyone's parade, but I think Potter is destined for great things. So Potter above Ranieri for me. So 5 for Benitez, 6 for Moyes, 7 for Potter. I'm happy with this. I think I'm happy with this. So 7 for Potter, 8 for Ranieri. Thomas Frank is an interesting one. Should he be lower? Should he be down here? Because, you know, the season's not over yet. I know they've had a great start to the season this year, but it's not over yet. Although what he's done with Brentford is remarkable. I'm going to leave Thomas Frank there, and I'm going to move Dean Smith up. Now that's quite controversial, but I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to move Dean Smith up, and we just need to move one manager down from the 11 to 15 category to 16 to 20. So I think, let's start from the bottom, actually. I do think Steve Bruce is the worst manager in the league. I'd probably, though, then go with Ole. I think Ole's clueless. Daniel Farke, fair enough, you know, he's doing absolutely rubbish with Norwich, isn't he? Nuno, definitely, just because the football he plays is absolutely dreadful. We just need to move one manager down from this 11 to 15 list. So we've got Vieira, Dyche. I think Dyche needs to be higher because he's done a good job with Burnley on a small budget. We've got Dyche, Vieira, Hassenhutle, Bielsa, Arteta, and Bruno Lage. I'll take Arteta higher. You know what? I'm pretty much happy with that, and I'll move Bruno Lage down. There you go. There you go. That is my list. That is my list. So from top to bottom, here we go. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel, Brendon Rodgers, Rafa Benitez. Do you agree with that top 5? Let me know in chat and in the comment section below. 6 to 10, David Moyes, Graham Potter, Claudio Ranieri. Come on. Thomas Frank, Dean Smith. Then from 11 to 15, Sean Dyche, who's done a good job at Burnley. He's done a really good job. We've got Sean Dyche, Mikel Arteta, Vieira, Hassenhutle, Bielsa. I'll probably swap these around, actually. I think Bielsa should be a bit higher. And then 16 to 20, Bruno Lage is in there purely because I've not seen enough of him so far, but I think he does have the potential to be a good manager. Bruno Lage, Nuno Espirito Santo, Daniel Farke, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Steve Bruce. So there you have it. That is my tier list. Let me know if you agree in the comment section down below. Hopefully, I'll be doing a few more of these videos in the future because I do think it is quite a fun concept to do. Rudy says, nice list. Thank you very much, Rudy. We'll be back tomorrow evening for your Southampton versus Watford match preview, live match preview. So I'll be here tomorrow evening discussing the game. Apart from that, leave your thoughts in the comment section below and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.